It's been so long since you smiled. Tell me where you left an empty child. Oh, let's have a feast on those who least expected this. The time is now, I swear we won't regret it. Won't regret it. Yeah, we sleep here under stars in the shelter of the dark. Addicted, addicted. Yeah, when you find out who you are, I'll be watching from afar. Addicted, addicted to this. No, we won't tell a single soul. No, of every passing night we've sold. Oh, this is our time, our place, a new day is in bloom. Come and see what it's like to just accept it. Yeah, accept it. Yeah, we sleep here under stars in the shelter of the dark. Addicted, addicted. Yeah, when you find out who you are, I'll be watching from afar. We're addicted, addicted to this. Take me to the light. I got tunnel vision sight. I got higher than I like. Too pretentious to rectify. Looking back, I know you tried. No, but does it still possess your life? Let's go out and get electric one more time. Everything in the world could be as we left it. Yeah, as we left it. Yeah, we sleep here under stars in the shelter of the dark.
Welcome everyone to the 2008 Daytona International Speedway here for the Sunwest Construction 200 at Daytona 2008. $10 go to the winner here for this week. This is the first round of the playoffs here for this week. It is a pleasure to have you here this afternoon. We are 1 minute away from going into this afternoon's race. It's a pleasure again to have you here on the Racing Line Broadcasting Network, and we are about to get underway here as we take a look at the starting, well, not exactly the starting grid, I should say more the playoff standings coming into this week. And this is how it is. Lucas Cram, Benjamin Nelson, Alan Ballacino, Sean Howell, and Alex Fox round out, I'll start off, first through fifth. Colby Wells, Dustin Schwingle, Alex Bell, Brendan Hoff, and Clint Spillman round out the rest of your playoff grid. You can see from 1,020 points down to 1,001 points. And playoff points will be a factor here for this race, as well as the rest of the season. It's going to be quite interesting to see how everything will be playing out here for this week. Qualifying has now come to an end, and we're going to get underway here with your starting grid. And drivers in the overlay will be labeled in blue, as you can see here as we start off with our starting grid. Lucas Cram and Benjamin Nelson will be starting off in the first and second place positions. It's no stranger to them to see them up in the front row. Brendan Hoff, Dustin Schwingle starting P3 and P4 respectively, with Alex Fox rounding out the top five. Relatively the first half of the playoff drivers will be starting in the top five, so we'll see how that goes. As starting off in the sixth place position, it is Gavin Jones, but seventh place is going to be Clint Spillman. Alex Bell will start in eighth. Ninth place is going to be Quinn Gingrich, with Brett Murphy rounding out the top 10. Stephen Gale starts 11th. Luke Parks will start in 12th. 13th place is Michael Klein, with Alan Ballacino being one of the few drivers to not set a qualifying time. He'll start off in 14th. 15th place is Sean Howell, with Lucas Strayer starting 16th. 17th place, Colby Wells, which I believe should be 18th place, but not entirely sure, to be quite honest, with our overlay being a little bit weird by the looks of it. But Mitchell Muma will be starting, I believe, 18th. And it's going to be Kyle Dagger starting off in apparently 21st position. Apologies for the error over on our starting grid. Not entirely sure as to why, but regardless, we will be getting underway here momentarily. And it is a pleasure to have everyone here for this week as we start off the first of four playoff races here at Daytona 08. Just waiting for the pace car to get ready to go as Benjamin Nelson. Well, actually, I should say all the drivers here will be starting off with all the drivers in the playoffs will be having that blue banner next to their names, as well as the blue spoiler. A little bit of a paint issue with Nelson, but we'll get that sorted out just momentarily. But in the meantime, something that caught my eye here is the ride height on these cars as they make their way off into turn one. You can see, look at the ride height here. It is quite a few inches off the ground. You take a look at, well, pretty much anybody's car, especially on the front end. It's very noticeable off of the pit road. So we'll see if that has any effect here for this week. It's the second race here at Daytona 08. As we await the field to make its way through for the initial opening lap. It is another 80 laps. Playoff points, again, are still in effect. And it's going to be the same as usual. Halfway, lap number 40, is going to be that stage end with a caution as well. Again, $10 go to the race winner for this week's event, as it looks like Nelson's playoff scheme has successfully loaded in. We should be going green at any moment now once we get off turn number 4. So there's officially 19 cars that will be starting. We may have a few drivers that did not start or did not qualify. So instead of 21, it is officially 19 cars here out on track. Lucas Cram about to bring the field to the green flag here at the Daytona International Speedway. And it is a go. Green flag flies here for the first playoff race of the season at Daytona 2008. A slow up in the back, the 48 having massive issues. Quinn Gingrich falling all the way back and sliding through the grass in the back. That is the 43 of Kyle Dager. Problems very early on as the field had to check up for both drivers. Not entirely sure on what had happened there. I'll see if we can get a replay here momentarily. Let's see exactly what happened here to, I guess, both the 43 and the 48, really, in this case. Not entirely sure what happened to Quinn Gingrich, if he got loose or not. But we'll see if we can catch it up to him from a aerial view here off of turn number 4. Quinn Gingrich is the 4th car on the low side. And, oh, that's heavy netcode to the 15. And then the 43 just comes up trying to get out of the way, hits Lucas Strayer in the side. Not exactly the best way to start out this race for that for the 15 of Alex Bell. I can say that for sure, unfortunately. Alex Bell has pretty much no help at all in any way, shape, or form, so we'll see if Bell can recover a little bit later on this race, but so far he's the last of the 10 drivers now. Back in the 15th place position. Back up front in the meantime. Well, the field is still continuing the battle. Especially the front runners. Alex Fox in that number 27 machine. New paint scheme this week as well, by the looks of that. You can just see how much blue is really around here within the top 15. More so, even the top 10. Somebody was a little bit on the apron there momentarily. That was the 52 of Stephen Gale, it looks like. I see a little bit off-center push from Gavin Jones, but luckily everyone does manage to hang on to it. And pushing here at Daytona, pushing in Daytona in general, I should say, is it's very risky. It's a very risky thing to do here at Daytona, just pushing somebody in general. But doing it at a track that is this bumpy, you are almost playing with fire in a sense. These drivers know how to control their cars, of course. They've been here before. And of course, it was a little bit of a learning experience for those drivers that are in the playoffs to know what to do and what not to do throughout this race. We see the 7 of Schwingle up on the top side in that number 7. He's giving a lot of space between himself and Gavin Jones. Not sure if that's by design or if that's just really him just trying to keep things safe between himself and everyone else, and not really pushing any risks. Gingrich is in pit road for, at least by the looks of it, maybe 4 tires and fuel. Maybe damage as well, but the 15 of Alex Bell has absolutely no help. He's got Kyle Dager quite a ways behind him, as well as between himself and Lucas Strayer. But one fast repair is available to these drivers if they do need it. That's going to be the key thing to look out for here, especially throughout this race. Running on board the 5 of Gavin Jones, who's giving a lot of pushes to that number 27 machine, trying to get Fox out front, but the inside line being Hoff and Cram, the 9 and 44 respectively. They are not giving up that inside lane. Not only that, the inside lane is, of course, always the preferred lane here at Daytona. Also any Superspeedway in general. As they go down the back straightaway, we see just how even these drivers are. Fox out front by almost a full car length there on the entry of turn number 3. Unfortunately for Jones, Gale comes sliding up the racetrack in the background, almost doors to the 0-2 of Balacino. Luckily, both of them have the awareness to hang on to it. Great save by Stephen Gale. And since great positioning as well by Balacino, because if he was just a little bit lower, that would not have gone too well. In fact, Balacino looking to try, and he's looking to make a move to the inside, or the middle lane, but he decides against it, decides to stay back and just let everything play out in front of him. Quint Gingrich still in pit road, unfortunately. Not sure as to why, if his engine blew, but it doesn't look to be any damage on that number 48 machine. Not entirely sure as to why the 48 is in pit road, but we'll see if we can get any notes on that as to why he was, or why he is on pit road momentarily. In the meantime, well, fastest lap was set by Luke Parks in the number 3 machine, and we haven't seen Parks in quite some time. It's good to see him back. His fastest lap time, as Gale gets a little too close to the apron, but Parks' fastest lap time was a 46.921. No one has yet to beat that. And that was on lap 3, keep in mind. As the field is starting to catch up to the 41 of Lucas Schreier. They aren't too far behind. Well, Schreier's going to have to go either one way or another way, and looks like he'll go down to the apron and slow way down to let everybody by. Great sportsmanship. As battle for the lead continues, albeit it's not much of a back and forth as we usually see, where someone gets to run on the outside lane, they get pushed to the lead, they move down to the inside, and then it goes to the next person on the outside lane. For this track, it's relatively even. I believe last time we were here as well, I believe, of course we're calling this off the top of my head, so it may be incorrect, but I think it was Alex Fox who actually, it was either Fox or Bell that said that the outside lane was a very preferred lane. In fact, I'm not even sure if it was from this track. It was out from Talladega last week. Regardless, we do have 30 laps to go before pit stops, or before the stage ends. We may have 15 laps to go before pit stops occur as well. As everyone makes their way down the back straightaway once again. Relatively no change throughout this field, as Quinn Gingrich looks to have taken the 48 now behind the wall, possibly retired as well, unfortunately. Yeah, not exactly sure as to why the 48, what issues the 48 is having, if any, but it looks to be the case. And on the field, catching up to Alex Bell, the last driver in the playoffs, or the last driver currently set, I should say, who is in the playoffs. And unfortunately goes one lap down, 12 laps into this race. Again, he does have a faster pair available to him, and he has not yet used it. He is in line to get the free pass if a caution does come out before the stage end. At lap 15, we'll be going to a double wide break, so you won't miss a single thing. Maybe back in time as well for pit stops. But in the meantime, Alex Fox still just trying to use anything possible, and unfortunately for Fox, they're catching up to Kyle Dager, and not exactly the worst place of the track, I should say, but the worst timing to catch up to somebody, because Fox could have used that draft from not only the 15 of Alex Bell, but the 43 of Kyle Dager down the back straightaway. Unfortunately, that is not going to be the case, as he looks to try and close the door off to the inside of the 44. He had a split-second moment, decided against it just to not chop the nose off the 44, or even turn himself on the front nose of the 44. I'm pretty sure that 27 is just hoping for some type of a draft on the outside lane down the back straightaway. That could have helped him out so much, but unfortunately, the 5 and the 7 can only do so much without blowing their engines, as well as the O2, with only 4 cars now up on the outside. .44 of Cram looking to help cool the engine of that number 9 machine. As you see, the next driver in line to get put one lap down is the 07 of Mitchell Muma. By the looks of it, a new paint scheme this week. Also, it looks like the 07, I was going to say, I was looking to go pit road incredibly early, does not do so. As we ride on board the number 27, in fact, I think some drivers are looking to make a line up on the top side, and that is the case. That's being led by the O2 of Balacino. I would say that might not be the best time, as he slots right back down behind the 7 machine. Especially with one more lap car in the way, and again, the timing is just not the best for these lead cars. For anyone either on the inside for the 44 or the outside for the 27. Somebody wants that extra pull to get that edge out in front, but unfortunately that's just not the case for anybody. No one can get a solid advantage here. Also come to the completion of 15 laps and a pass of the 07, who will be in line for the free pass. Lucas Cram continues to lead out front, trying at least his best, with help from the 9 of Brendan Hoff to stay out front as Muma goes up very wide, stays off the wall than anybody else. The 27 of Alex Bell and the 5 of Gavin Jones leading the outside lane. They're trying to find an advantage of their own, but so far it looks to be relatively equal. We're not going to go anywhere, as we will be at double wide here on the Racing Line Broadcasting Network.
We got big time problems with that motor, buddy. Hey, just between you and me, the idea is to avoid the other cars. Congratulations! You just set the sport back 30 years with that move. That move will put you in the Hall of Shame. You keep doing stuff like that and we're going to lose our sponsor. Looks like that's it for us today. Now I know why you got canned by your old team. It's over. We can't fix that damage.
like your car is toast. You'll need a tow back to pit lane, press and hold your reset button, and we'll come and get you.
Well, we are back live here at Daytona as the caution has just come out. The 45 of Colby Wells involved, as well as the double A of Clint Spillman. Heavy damage to bring out the first caution. We are just almost 20 laps away from the stage end. And unfortunately, well, that has come to a very decisive halt. And we're going to be seeing a lot of drivers go into pit road. We're going to be seeing pretty much everybody actually go into pit road momentarily. And we'll see exactly what had caused this first caution of the day here as we came down the back straightaway off turn number 2. Looking up in front, the number 7 third car in the left side line, at least to the camera, just gets pushed too hard, and oh man, Colby Wells is well involved. So relatively, 3 playoff drivers, I believe, were involved in that. Justin Schwingle, Colby Wells, Clint Spillman, all involved in that crash. One more look riding on board with the number 7 machine of Dustin Schwingle, who got pushed, unfortunately, just a bit too hard by Luke Parks. You can see him is just a bit misaligned, and yep, there it goes. And the 45 of Wells with absolutely nowhere to go. Unfortunately, it does happen. Common mistakes like that do happen occasionally. And, well, look at this, because just out front at the time of the caution was the number 27 of Alex Fox. Where this will put him by the end of this, we'll have to wait and find out. 2 drivers have stayed out, Mitchell Muma and Kyle Dager. Both are 1 and 2 laps down respectively, as well as the 15 of Alex Bell, who's a lap down. Same with the 43 of Kyle Dager. Passing straight through pit road is the 38 of Sean Howell, who completely missed his pit box, as it looks like it's fuel only for the 44, the 38, the 9, and everyone else looks to be getting some form of tires. Alex Fox is out pit road in 5th place. Gavin Jones out in 6th. And we'll probably be seeing Sean Howell come back into pit road the next time by, and unfortunately, again, he just missed his pit box. And will ride on board throughout his trip through pit road. And, well, at least we know now, going straight through pit road is 19 seconds. Now it's without stopping in your pit box as well. You can see Sean Howell just laying back. And goes right by his pit box. There it goes. Unfortunately, just completely missed it somehow, but that's just how it is, unfortunately, by pit standards when you're pitting with many, many people all at once. So getting cycled through to the lead will be the 44 of Lucas Cram, and out of absolutely nowhere, it's Benjamin Nelson restarting in the 2nd place position. I haven't really seen Nelson play a prominent role. He has been up front in the main pack, maybe about top 6. That's pretty much it. That's all we. That's all. That's where he's seeing the 33 just hanging out. It's about the top 6 throughout the few opening laps. Now he's restarting back in 2nd place on this restart. We have Brendan Hoff restarting 3rd, Alex Fox restarts 4th, Gavin Jones will restart 5th, Parks will restart 6th, 7th place is Gale, 8th place is going to be Brett Murphy, 9th place Alan Balcino, and 10th place Sean Howell or Dustin Schwingle. Looks like a few drivers went back to pit road just to be sure. Now we're just waiting for the pace car to pull off once again, as the clouds have very much covered the Daytona International Speedway. And this is the part where we're wondering how much the grip will change throughout this next run, provided at least that the cloud cover does retain and does stay throughout this next run down to the stage end. Keeping in mind, these are the point standings coming into this race here for this week. Lucas Cram, Benjamin Nelson, Alan Bellacino, Sean Howell, Alex Fox, Colby Wells, Dustin Schwingle, Alex Bell, Brandon Hoff, and Clint Spillman. Alex Bell is not on the lead lap, unfortunately. Still one lap down back in 17th. The pace car has pulled off, and we are back underway here at Daytona. It is 16 laps to go until the completion of the stage. Actually, correction, 17 laps to go until the completion of the stage. And Alex Bell is all over the back bumper of Benjamin Nelson. I'm pretty sure Nelson is very much wanting that number 27 machine to just shove him down this back straightaway here. That's exactly what is happening as we see the momentum difference on board here, just enough to get Nelson about half a car length ahead of Lucas Cram, but that's it. Look at this, Alex Fox pushing the 33 so much to the point that Nelson is able to go down to the inside lane, not wanting to leave out the 27. Unfortunately, 27 is left out to dry, and Luke Parks is now going to be sitting behind as it's a huge bobble from the 44. Trying to slow up on the inside lane. But we'll see if Luke Parks has enough momentum to push the 27 out front, almost by the looks of it from this camera angle. And you can see him, he's wanting to move down to the inside lane, but that's just not going to happen at the moment. That's done by, there's 15 laps to go until the completion of the stage. And it's still relatively a dead heat between these drivers. At the start-finish line, you see here this time last time by, they crossed the start-finish line. Alex Fox was 7 thousandths of a second ahead of Nelson, and that was for the completion of the stage. I'm pretty sure that it would have been a little bit of a closer margin, not only in timing, but physically between the two drivers. Unfortunately for the 27, he has absolutely no help from the number 3 machine of Luke Parks as the 44 of Cram moves up to the top side. A little bit of a squeeze from many drivers, a little bit of a bobble as well, trying to stay in their respective lanes. It's getting very, very dicey in their respective lanes between everybody here. Now, two things could be going through the heads of all these drivers here within this top, at least top 8 drivers. Is that, well, I want to be up front here, but I don't want to do it too soon. And that's going to be the key thing, and I'm pretty sure that Alex Fox is thinking that. I'm pretty sure he's thinking, I want to be up front, but at the same time, is it too soon? And, well, we just saw from that momentum and from the help of Fox himself that Cram does not think it's too soon. He wants to be out front as soon as possible, so it's either two trains of thought. You want to be out there as soon as possible, or you want to wait until the last second. I'm pretty sure if you want to be out there as soon as possible, you're begging the person behind you, please, please just give me a huge shot down the back straightaway. Unfortunately, the outside lane is faltering very, very heavily as the 33 of Nelson does not think so. He moves up to the outside lane, gets the push from 27. We could be seeing that 33 just peak out, but no, we're not actually. It was a bit too early or a bit too late down the back straightaway for Nelson's move. And you can see the margin there between the first and second place drivers, about a half car length. And back down to the inside, chopping the nose off the 44 goes Benjamin Nelson. And that's going to cause Brendan Hoff to slow up quite a bit. I'm pretty sure we are looking at right now. 27, he wants to get to the inside as the 44 chops his nose off. Keeping in mind it's 12 laps to go until the completion of the stage, now 11 and a quarter as we make our way into turn 3. Luke Parks has severely backed off a huge margin. And that's not helping out the 27 in any case, but it's helping out everyone battling out front, in this case the 33 and 44. And we are again no strangers seeing these two battle it out many, many times throughout this season. Something's going to have to give at some point for somebody wanting to make a position change. And back down to the inside, and back to the lead, it goes to 33 of Nelson. Alan Balacino sitting behind, just letting things play out as well. In fact, Balacino could possibly as well, could risk pushing Luke Parks to push the 27. But is that a risk that he's willing to take is the question that should be answered. And so far, the answer is no. Ten laps to go until halfway, 10 laps to go until the completion of the stage. And it's still relatively a dead heat. The outside lane is there, it's fighting, it's trying to do whatever it can, but it just does not have enough momentum from really anybody on the outside really to appear to be a challenge by the looks of it. It's there, of course, on the outside lane. It's sitting there, but unfortunately it just doesn't seem to be making a huge gain. But Alex is, well, Fox in this case from the 27, is just looking to do whatever he can, within reason, of course, to keep that 44 down to the inside lane. Meanwhile, the other Alex, in terms of Alex Bell, is back in 16th. He is currently 1 lap down. We just saw Kyle Dagger there on the entry of turn number 1. He is also a lap down. But Alex Bell is in line to get back into the lead lap as well. And he did use his faster pair by the looks of it. Meanwhile, back up front, that front 5 still battling by this angle. Looks to have a massive advantage. Down to the inside goes the 27, a bit too late on the movement as well. And he's going to be stuck in the middle as we go 3 wide off turn number 2. Now, which lane did the O2? And, well, there's that question answered already. The O2 moves to the middle. And so does, I believe that's the 11 of Brett Murphy. It is, with a different paint scheme this week. It was so close, yet so far. It might be worthy of taking a look on the replay here as both grit drivers move to the outside, the 44 and the 9. I'm going to hold off on the replay just to see how everything plays out here. As Cram moves down to the inside, Hoff will soon follow here momentarily. In fact, he's going to try and bring the 27 out to the inside. This could actually be a little bit risky in terms of the lead. Remember, not all teammates really like to work together. And, you know, there goes Hoff down to the inside lane. As we take a quick look at the replay here, we're going to be running on board Benjamin Nelson on the entry to turn number 1 that time by. And here is the replay. 27 gets a shove right here. He could have moved down to the inside, but unfortunately, he hesitated a bit too long. And that's what caused that fallback in that 3 wide throughout that entire section of that lap. Back to live pictures, we see the cloud cover has immediately gone away after about just under 10 laps. I can see there the 27 desperate to try and get something. Here comes the O2 of Alan Balacino, actually. Balacino may be looking to try and make something work as well. Gingrich back into pit road, unfortunately, as he was back out on track. Maybe having a few technical issues by the looks of it. Unfortunately for Gingrich, he is now currently 25 laps down. There you can see down the back straightaway. The 0-2 closing into the back bumper to 27. A little bit of a shot as well to the 44 from Benjamin Nelson down the back straightaway, keeping that inside lane just over 2 cars ahead. Just about 2 cars ahead. This time by, it will be 5 laps to go before the completion of the stage. It looks like that is Kyle Dager on the outside lane. He will go 1 lap down. He will not get the free pass, and he will not be one lap down. He will now be 2 laps down, unfortunately, just before the end of the stage. Balacino looking to get a little bit of draft as well. Unfortunately for the outside lane, they are just not able to get the draft at the right place on that top side. Maybe one thing that is hindering them, but it also seems that the outside lane, just at least at this track, just does not want to go. They can get, again, they can match up to the momentum. Unfortunately, they just can't get a solid speed enough to get a massive advantage lap after lap. This track is brutalizing that outside lane. 4 laps to go, this time by the start-finish line. That time around, it was the 9 of Hoff leading. Also going to interview at the completion of the stage with your stage winner, pending their availability, of course. As I see Cram just try and peek out to the outside, trying to cool his engine down, as well as trying to give a lot of momentum to that 9 down the back straightaway. Again, just 1 car ahead is always that inside lane. Balacino trying to give a shove to the 27. Brett Murphy lurking if anything does happen. Again, it's still the entire top 5 being all playoff drivers, just as we started this race. Looking off the passenger door of Brendan Hoff as we close into the completion of the first half of this race, as well as the completion of this stage. I see here actually on board Balacino that front left portion of his hood is actually a little bit damaged. Not sure as to why or where it's from. It may have been something related to checking up from that first caution. Again, the stage completes at the completion of lap 40. So it will not end this time by, but it will end next time by. And points will matter for everybody here. I'm pretty sure both Hoff and Fox and even Balacino want to get out ahead of that 33 and 44 of Nelson and Cram just to get all the points possible and not give them any advantages. This time by is the white flag, at least for the stage. How hard will Balacino shove that 27 down the back straightaway? How hard will Cram shove the 9 down the back straightaway is another question, as both lines are bobbling. Oh, turned in front of the entire field. Caution is going to be out, and that's it. That's the completion of the stage. And 27 goes spinning like a top and is heavily damaged. Caution is out, and at the time of the caution, it looks to be Brandon Hoff, and we'll get your top 10 up here momentarily. As they cross the start-finish line, it's going to be Brendan Hoff in first. Second place is Lucas Cram. Third place is Benjamin Nelson. This will update accordingly in a few moments' time as Gavin Jones crosses. He'll be in fourth. Fifth place is Dustin Schwingle. Sixth place looks to be Brett Murphy. Seventh place, Colby Wells. Eighth place, Sean Howell. Ninth place is Stephen Gale. And 10th place, just now crossing the line, is Alan Balacino. As we see Fox's name get shuffled all the way back down, here he is in 11th. Well, as we interview your stage winner, I'll take a look at the replay once we get a hold of Brendan Hoff. I believe we should be able to do so right about now. Brendan Hoff, you have a copy with us. Brandon Hoff, do you have a copy with us?
Oh, I do now.
Yeah, there we go. Well, you won the stage by, well, of course, being positioned very well in the inside lane there. So just as you go through pit road here, just walk us through that entire first half of the race so far.
Yeah, I was kind of stuck being the pusher for the most part. I knew as soon as I had a lane, I wanted to get to the outside and get clear of Lucas, Alex, and Ben. But it worked out. Yeah, I know I've been running top 5 the entire race, but it's not fun. It's a fun setup because you suck up really well and you're able to push a lot. But I was just trying to take my time, avoid the wrecks as I did, and I hope to end with a stage win. And that was the first stage win of the season for me, so good time for it. But it's been a fun race so far. Just gonna hopefully do more of the same now.
Hopefully that is the case. Before we go ahead and let you go, your thoughts heading into this second half of this race?
Like I just said, more of the same of what I did in the first, kind of, be able to work both lanes, hopefully. Try to lead some laps. I know I haven't led the most, but with where I am in points, already starting in a little bit of a hole, I think like 18 or 19 back. I can use all the points I can get. So hopefully going to try to lead some and hopefully wind up in victory lane at the end.
Well, congratulations on your stage win, and we hope to talk to you again at the end of this race.
Thank you, Gary.
That is the 9 of Brendan Hoff, your stage winner, and in the meantime, we do have your replay queued up and ready to go for you here. So, off of turn number 2, coming down the back straightaway, as we see the 0-2 of Ballacino. Not entirely sure, it may have been just another bumper hook, something that happened similarly down the back straight earlier, and yeah, Ballacino, collects, unfortunately, another 4 drivers, and at 27, I believe, got the worst of that entirely, and it's just one of those moments where you think you're there, you misjudge the momentum, and unfortunately, well, everyone ends up going around, and now it looks like Fox is going to be continuously getting, actually the field entirely is still continuing to get shuffled around here, so we'll see what happens here on this restart as we are back with your live pictures. So restart at least will be as follows here on this restart. It will be Lucas Krem restarting first. Dustin Schwingle will restart in second. Third place will be Stephen Gale. Fourth place is Michael Klein, who may have not gotten the memo that he's restarting on the outside lane as of yet. But Mitchell Moon on the 07 restarts in fifth. Sixth place will be Brendan Hoff. Seventh place, Alex Fox. Eighth place, Benjamin Nelson. Ninth place, Brett Murphy. 10th place, Luke Parks. Gavin Jones will restart 11th. 12th place is Alex Bell, who is back on the lead lap. Alan Ballacino will restart at least 13th or 14th. Colby Wells is also making his way around. Sean Howell currently 15th. Spillman currently sits in 16th. 17th, Kyle Dager, and 18th is Lucas Strayer. In fact, we may have a delayed green here, considering the fact that the field is not yet correctly bunched up. We'll wait and see here with all eyes on the pace car as we make our way off turn at number 4. Taking a look at the track map, we may not get a delayed caution, but unfortunately the 88 and 43 will be quite a ways behind. They are looking to just about catch up at the time of this green flag. Green flag is back out, and we're underway once again at Daytona in the second half of the Sunwest Construction 200. And they are side by side coming to the line, both the 88 and the 43. They just managed to catch up in time at full speed, and they'll match that speed as they head into turn 1. Unfortunately for Spillman, he'll get held up by the 38 as everyone is completely, or has completely shuffled from what we've seen in the first half of the race. First half of the race, it was the entire top 5 being all playoff drivers. Now, if you look at throughout the top 15, you see blue absolutely spilled throughout the field. Say for 16th place being Clint Spillman, but all playoff drivers are on the lead lap this time. So as we make our way into the second half of this race, lap number 45, Dustin Schwingle got the lead at that time by the start-finish line by 6/1,000ths of a second, and he'll go straight into the lead with help from Luke Parks. Keeping in mind, drivers involved in that last crash may have most likely used up their one and only faster pair, so we'll see if they do decide to play a little bit more risky in terms of knowing if they do or do not have a faster pair. As Fox and Balacino, well, they're up on the outside lane already, so they know the risks and they're willing to take it. This time by it will be 35 laps to go as we close in the last few laps of this race. The first race as well of the playoffs, keep in mind. A few drivers on the inside lane, many drivers on the inside lane actually making putting their left side tires below the yellow line off turn number 2. It seems to be a struggle for everybody here. You follow the driver in front, and well, next thing you know, you're on the apron. So it's something to be very, very aware of, to not consistently follow the driver in front of you, but to follow the inside lane, the physical line around the track, as both lanes have made contact. The 52 almost dooring the 3, the 1 almost dooring the 9. Of course, not intentionally, but it almost came to contact. As the 44 goes out in front, once again on the inside lane. Luke Parks may have finally found a little bit of power on that outside lane as well as in that Chevy engine. A bit more confidence as well, knowing that he's made it past the halfway point to push drivers up out front. Someone's having a few connection issues. That's the 11 of Brett Murphy, luckily just behind a few drivers, although Mitchell Moon was just about to come up in front of the 11 and decided right against it to go straight back down to the inside lane. We'll be taking another break at lap number 55, rather lap 56. It will be a double wide, so you won't miss a single thing. Right now at this point, this is the calm before the storm, if you will. This is the part where everyone has kind of feeled everything out with the field, how the track is going to race, how the drivers race here. And now we'll see if the outside lane can get a little bit more momentum in this second half. But at the moment, it doesn't seem to be... It seems to be relatively stagnant a few portions of the track. Klein having many issues, unfortunately, going below the yellow line with his left side tires. Struggling to keep it on the inside lane. Of course, I've been at this track. I've raced at this track here on iRacing. I can say it definitely makes sense to be very, very yellow line heavy in a sense, as well, unfortunately, Schwingle going way up to the top side. Maybe wanting to drop to the back by the looks of this. So 7 of Dustin Schwingle, a driver in the playoffs, now gets into the outside wall, has maybe created a little bit more trouble for himself in a solution. But he's actually going to be trying to help himself work out with the 45 of Colby Wells, his teammate. There comes Alex Bell on the outside lane, trying to pass both of them at the same time. Will it work is the question, and can that be answered before turn 1? Just about yes, just barely. Cutting it close. But managing to get out front. The 52 as well, having a few issues. Trying to keep that car steady on the inside lane. Again, it makes sense. The track is bumpy. You're trying to follow the driver in front. You're trying to stay above the yellow line, and one of those things is bound to go wrong at some point. You're so focused on the driver in front, you follow them quite literally down to the inside lane, added with the bonus of the surface of Daytona 2008. You have to work the wheel quite a significant amount. Almost actually. The 52 almost went out to the outside. Pretty sure he didn't want to cut off the nose of Luke Parks on the outside. Michael Klein as well, still continuing to struggle, just holding the car steady on the inside lane. Having that in the draft at almost 200 miles an hour. In fact, we'll see what speed Michael Klein is going here. Down the back straightaway for sure. At most, it could be 190 miles per hour as he slowly tries to at least back off a little bit. Not provide too much of a stack up. 100 and almost 90 miles an hour, 191 into turn number 3. And the outside lane is drastically falling back as this happens. Being led by the 3 of Luke Parks. Many drivers almost, I believe the 02 and the 52, or the 07 and 52, both wanted to move up to the outside lane, but that's just not the case. Now the huge burst of speed by the outside lane, because since they're much more formed up than the inside, it's like both lanes that one lap had some type of complication. And look how close Parks is to squeezing down the 44. From personal experience, I do not recommend squeezing down somebody at this track. Things can only go so well for so long. Parks is, of course, very comfortable. Knows the limits of the track, trying to side draft as well. Unfortunately, that's hindering the outside lane just ever so slightly, slowing them up. But the inside lane is also going to be slowed up as well, most likely. We'll see more cars closely formed up on the outside lane than it is on the inside, so everyone is struggling with this track. I'm pretty sure a few drivers want to make the outside lane work. Most notably the 9 of Brendan Hoff, the 02 of Alan Balcino, the 33 of Benjamin Nelson. They all want to try to make the outside lane work. They've been prominent users of prominent drivers of making a third lane happen out of absolutely nowhere, but this track may not be the best track to do so. Of course, due to its bumpy, abrasive surface, you can kind of see it actually from this camera shot in the outside wall, just how the outside wall just flows up and down. And we'll stay on this camera shot, in fact, next time once we go through turns 3 and 4. Take a look at the outside wall as well during that time. In the meantime, throughout all of this, Lucas Krem has been leading the inside lane, has been leading the 52 of Stephen Gale, has been leading the 1 of Michael Klein throughout this entire inside lane. Same with the 07 of Mitchell Muma. And, well, most of the playoff drivers are now on the outside lane. Now, from this next camera shot, take a look at the outside wall here. You can see it just flow, bump up and down, up and down, up and down, just ever so slightly as the 52 and the 1 both move up a little bit too much, and much more than slightly, unfortunately, but they do manage to hang on to it. But they are struggling behind that 44 machine. They're struggling on the inside lane, and the 3 may be struggling on the outside lane as he peeked up to the outside, maybe just helping cool the engine down on the 9. Everybody is all over the place here at Daytona, both the inside lane and the outside lane. They're all over their respective lanes, I should say. This time by as we come to 25 laps to go, we're going to take a quick 5-lap double wide break. Give or take a lap or two, but we will be back and you won't miss a single thing here on the Racing Line at Broadcasting Network.
coming up to the line, being chased, and it was Braden Johnson. Unbelievable finish. It was 1/1000th of a second between them.
Green flag in the air. We are racing in the 2020 24 Hours of Daytona.
They go door to door for the feature race lead here on the last lap of the race.
Side by side for the race lead in the final corner at Homestead.
Down the back straightaway, 3 wide again for the race lead. This is unbelievable stuff here tonight.
Loma is going to have to be very deep on the brakes, and he is very deep on the brakes. It's side by side through the corner. This is for the win.
It'll be side by side. Davies low, Ottinger high. To the very inside is Garrett low. 4 wide at the stripe.
The Audis win here on this outside line. Neck and neck. Who's going to back out? Does anyone back out?
Verstappen starts to squeeze on the inside, and now he'll try and straight line it. Goes under the apron. Drag race to the line. It's so close to call.
Welcome back live to the Daytona International Speedway, where we are here for race 9 of 12, the Sunwest Construction 200 at Daytona 2008 here on the Raceline Broadcasting Network. This is the Sim Auto Racing Group Superspeedway Series, and they have been green flag racing for what is now 21 laps, just about. And now, with these drivers being 21 laps pretty much on the current run, they're able to go pit road and not worry about running it out or running out of fuel to the end of this race. They do have 3 green light checkers if necessary. We've only had to use 1 this season at maximum. And throughout this entire time, it has been leads trading back and forth between Lucas Cram and Brendan Hoff. Alan Ballacchino is up here as well. He won last week at Talladega to close out the regular season. And as we double check throughout the scoring as of this entire season, going off of the drivers that have won, we have Lucas Cram, Benjamin Nelson, Michael Elliott, Sean Howell, Colby Wells, and Alan Ballacchino. That is 6 drivers that have won the first 8 races. Can we get a 7th winner, or will we get a repeat winner? At the moment, it's looking to be a repeat winner in the form of the 02, the 44, or the 33. Currently on track, there are now 18 cars currently running, still physically on the actual racing surface. No one is in pit road. 1 driver has retired early. That is the 48 of Quinn Gingrich, possibly having a few technical difficulties over on his end, maybe something hardware related. Not sure as to why. Maybe weather over in his location. Not entirely sure, but unfortunately he is out and has been for about 53 laps. 15 drivers are on the lead lap. The drivers that are currently a lap or more down, well, it's the 88 of Clint Spillman, who is unfortunately 1 lap down, all on his lonesome. The 17 of Lucas Strayer is 2 laps down in 17th. 18th place is the 43 of Kyle Dager, who is 3 laps down. Right now there's 15 laps to go as the clouds cover Daytona once again. Will it last for more than just under 10 laps? We'll have to wait and see. But we could be seeing drivers pit a few laps time, because the pit window, well, you can say right now it's relatively open between now and 5 laps to go. So for the next 10 laps, drivers have a chance to go to pit road. Of course, you could give or take a couple laps, but, well, if I was me, I'd start to worry about when we'd be pitting and talking with teammates to make sure, hey, well, we have this many laps to go, and if we wait until the last second, we may not be able to make it, or we might. You never really know here at Daytona. Question is, though, when will these drivers pit? Because the window is available, it's open, the opportunity is there. Of course, from what we've seen, drivers can go about 25 to 32 laps on pit strategy. They're currently on lap number 24, somewhere on lap 25, so relatively you could say the pit window has already opened, again, with 15 laps to go. Actually, a little bit of correction, I should say, between 15 laps to go and about 8 laps to go, not 5 laps to go. Well, we'll see what these drivers have in store for this entire race. Some drivers we haven't even seen move to the inside lane, some we haven't seen move to the outside lane. Drivers that have been a little bit indecisive, maybe, in a sense, or drivers that really just don't want to give it that lane. Most notably, of course, the 44 of Cram, who goes right down the pit road. And here comes Stephen Gale along with Michael Klein. Luke Parks follows, as well as the 15, as the 1 of Klein slides way off pit road. Luckily, manages to hang on to it. Brett Murphy as well on pit road, as well as Alex Bell with these drivers. They're all on pit road. There's Sean Howell come to pit road this time by. He's the last car on the lead lap. He does come to pit road. Now, I'd be a little bit worried if I was listening to anybody, at least in this top 7 group, because if anybody here decides to come to pit road, you have to do it incredibly quickly. I was going to say Alex Fox, now he's back. For the first time, has moved to the inside and has gotten the lead. But will he stay out is the question. I think not. Survey says no by the looks of that. Lead pack stays out. Anyone else going to pit road? Yes, we have a couple drivers. Dustin Schwingle, Colby Wells. We see the 88 of Clint Spillman in pit road as well. The 88 of Clint Spillman again. The 41 of Lucas Strayer, actually, I should be saying. That's only 4 drivers on pit road, most likely taking fuel just to get to the end. Some of these times, well, most of these times, actually a huge majority of these times are all 8 to 7 second pit stops. Unfortunately for the 1 of Michael Klein, that is not the case. He is serving a pass-through penalty, I'm sure, not a pass-through penalty, correction, a speeding penalty for having slid through pit road. Now the lead pack comes to pit road this time by, as Michael Klein is still in pit road, maybe repairing damage, but this is the lead field coming to pit road. Fox brings them on with Nelson, Hoff, Balacchino, and Jones all behind them. Mitchell Muma as well joins them. And while the lead field, the driver who should be leading in theory, by the time this all cycles through, is going to be Dustin Schwingle with Colby Wells. But there is Lucas Cram. In fact, these two, Schwingle and Wells, may have timed it perfectly. We'll see how this plays out off turn number 4. And we'll see actually how everything plays out on the back straightaway. Fox first in, first out of pit road. Benjamin Nelson is going to be 3rd out of pit road as Balacchino has passed him on the apron, exiting pit road. Brendan Hoff is 4th off of pit road. Gavin Jones and Mitchell Muma currently 5th and 6th. And right when I say that, here comes Dustin Schwingle and Colby Wells. They have actually cycled through to the lead and have timed it perfectly. Will that be the same case for Fox and Balacchino? Fox is actually on his lonesome here. This is going to be all coming into turn 1 here. We may need a wider shot. There we go. Here's the leader, the drivers that should be leading, Dustin Schwingle and Colby Wells, 5th and 6th respectively. But that's not going to be the case. Benjamin Nelson and Brandon Hoff have teamed up. Alex Fox has absolutely no help behind him, but he does have help in the form of the 88 in front of him, Clint Spillman, and he might just barely cycle to the lead this time by. He does at the line, but he has no help on the inside lane now, and he's going to have a couple lap cars in front of him. How will this play out, as I believe the 88 of Spillman has gotten his fast repair. He's used it. But Brett Murphy's going to have to go somewhere. He moves to the apron. So does Spillman. Fox wants to follow. That's going to hold up the inside lane very, very drastically. A massive miscommunication there. That's going to shuffle Fox now from the lead to 3rd in lane on the inside. And that's going to move Nelson and Hoff into 1st and 2nd place. Hoff goes out to the outside lane to try and get the lead away from Nelson. As the 27 pushes the 33 through the tri-oval. And Colby Wells was somewhere. In fact, he's gotten shuffled all the way back to now 10th place. He was a few moments ago behind Dustin Schwingle. In fact, 1 lap ago, Wells was behind Schwingle. Hoff and Nelson trying to control both the inside and outside lane. A little bit sketchy if you have 2 cars doing it. But that actually did work out in the favor of Nelson, who gets a huge shove down the back straightaway into turn number 3 from that 27. Watch out for Balacino, who won last week at Talladega as well. A surprise win from out of nowhere. And now we see how well the inside and outside lanes can work out. Fox all over the back bumper of that number 33, Benjamin Nelson. But here comes the outside lane once again. Brendan Hoff getting pushed by Dustin Schwingle in that number 7 machine. And you see just barely lurking in the distance is the 44, as you see how bumpy the track is from this onboard camera. Just looking at everybody beside the number 33 machine here. As Hoff gets cleared of the 33 of Nelson, but he does not move down to the inside lane. Schwingle could try a little bit of a crossover. He decides against it. Hoff moves down to the inside now, takes control of that inside lane. Hoff last week with a 3rd place finish. Goes up to almost protect the outside lane. Decides against it, comes back down to the inside as that number 9. Now these 2 drivers, the 7 of Schwingle and the 27 of Fox, they are in almost prime position here to make any sort of movements that they can to get out front somehow. But if you're the second driver on the inside lane, you have a massive advantage. And that's why you have to push the absolute bumper off somebody in front of you. And that's exactly what the 27 is trying to do. But Schwingle is saying, no, I want the lead. I want to push the 33 out front so I can have a shot to get to the lead. But that second driver on the inside lane always has other ideas and spoils the party. This time by, there's 6 laps to go here at Daytona for the Sim Auto Racing Group Superspeedway Series with the Sunwest Construction 200 at Daytona. We've only had, I believe, 2 cautions overall, 1 for an actual incident and 1 for a stage end, and that was it. Closing in on the final 5 laps, the adrenaline pumping, and I know how it would feel to be at least, well, pretty much anybody really, but anyone in prime position to get a top 3 finish. I was in that position a couple weeks ago in a league race, and while it was just an absolute destroyer, it was a morale destroyer when getting turned on the final lap. That's happened many times here with these green-white checker finishes and with these last lap finishes in general. So no one is entirely safe from not getting some kind of disappointment or heartbreak from not finishing where they expect. But that's a good thing though, because you know you had a chance. You know you're passionate about it. And that's why you just have to push the bumper off somebody to get that win, or let alone a podium finish here in the top 3. That's exactly what Schwingle is doing. He's pushing the bumper off the 33. Does Nelson move to the inside? No, he does not. Now he does, actually, middle of turn number 3, cutting the momentum off number 9. This is going to leave Schwingle in line for the lead, but Hoff is drastically trying to shove himself up to the outside lane, but it's not working. Now with a huge shove from the 44 of Lucas Cram, here comes Dustin Schwingle to the lead. In fact, it could be 3 wide, and it is. Schwingle gets shuffled out to the outside lane. No help behind him. And just like that, well, it's better than at least getting turned, because you know you still have a chance at getting some positions. But no doubt, huge shove to the 33 of Nelson. We saw a huge bobble there. Meanwhile, the 9 and the 27 have been controlling the inside lane throughout this entire run ever since the pit stop cycle has completed. I'm pretty sure 27 of Fox is itching for that call for the outside lane to be clear so he can have a shot at getting to the outside lane and getting back into the lead. But he's only led, I believe, only 1 lap, and that was on the completion of the pit stop cycle. Sean Howell on the outside lane lets the field by. Alan Balacino lurking if anything does happen. I mean, we can't really count out the drivers that aren't in the playoffs as well. I mean, Luke Parks, Stephen Gale, Gavin Jones as well. They've all been prominent drivers within the top 10 from this entire season. They could also have a shot as well. Anybody here could have a shot. 2 laps to go this time by here at Daytona. As we come off turn number 4. But will it be a green flag situation the next time we come around to take the final lap? That's up to these guys. That's up to their aggression. That's up to how much they want to make a last lap attempt. Inside and outside lanes are even once again, much like we saw earlier on and throughout this entire race. Brendan Hoff continues to get pushed by the 27. The 33 of Nelson continues to get pushed by the 44 of Lucas Cram. Does Hoff risk controlling the outside lane by himself? That's a question we'll have to wait and see to be answered here. This time by, it's the white flag here at Daytona. Final lap this time by, 1 lap to go. It will be a green flag finish, and this is the final attempt for anyone to get any positions. Hoff looking for a win after finishing 3rd place last week. Looking to jump the standings in front of the 33 and 44. Same with anybody in the playoffs here. Balacino as well will be shoving the 27 as the 27 shoves the 9. How will they fare off turn number 4 this time by? Will it be even? Will we see some paint get traded? Final time off turn number 2. It's Brendan Hoff out front by a car length. Getting shoved by 27. Look at the inside lane. Stephen Gale as they crash behind. It's a huge crash coming to the finish. And it is Brendan Hoff, the lone survivor, coming to the finish. And absolutely nobody behind him at the start-finish line. It was Brendan Hoff, Benjamin Nelson, Alex Fox. Lucas Cram finishes 4th. 5th place was Balacino. Stephen Gale and Luke Parks from absolutely nowhere finished 6th and 7th. Colby Wells finishes 8th. 9th place is Bell. And 10th place is Gavin Jones. But what a week it has been. What a great 2 weeks it has been for the 9 of Brendan Hoff. 3rd place last week, 1st place this week. I'm pretty sure he is absolutely more than relieved and more than excited about a finish like that. It could not have been planned any better for the 9 of Brendan Hoff. A winner. Finally, we have a 7th different winner here in this series as Hoff burns it down in the infield here at Daytona. And we'll take a look at your finishing results for this week. It is Brendan Hoff, Benjamin Nelson, Alex Fox in 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. We'll get an interview with them momentarily. Lucas Cram finishes 4th in the 44, appropriately enough. Alan Balacino finishes in 5th. Just like we started this race, we finished this race with almost the entire top 5 being playoff drivers. Only one driver is missing, and that is the driver who started 4th. We'll get to them momentarily. But Stephen Gale and Luke Parks finishing 6th and 7th. Colby Wells and Alex Bell finish 8th and 9th. Unfortunately, having a few complications here with our timing. Finishing off in the 10th place position, there he is Gavin Jones officially. And then finishing in 11th is Dustin Schwingle. He's the driver who started 4th, but luckily he does finish on the lead lap. Mitchell Muma finishes in 12th. 13th place is Sean Howell. 14th place is Brett Murphy. Clint Spillman rounds out the top 15. Not the best way to start this the playoff season, unfortunately. And he will, at least at the moment, be looking to remain at the bottom of the playoff standings going into next week. Michael Klein, Lucas Strayer, Kyle Dager, and Quinn Gingrich round out your 19-car field, with Quinn Gingrich being the only driver to not finish here for this week. So momentarily, we'll give you your interviews with the top 3 here for the Sim Auto Racing Group Superspeedway Series with the Sunwest Construction 200 at Daytona. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be right back with your interviews from the top 3. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back here on the Racing Line Broadcasting Network. Welcome back to the Daytona International Speedway, where we have just seen an absolutely incredible race here at Daytona. Once again, the Daytona 2008, the Sunwest Construction 200 at Daytona 2008. We are here with your post-race interviews, and we're going to be starting off with the third place finisher, and that is going to be, we're going from third to first this week. And it is going to be starting off with the number 27 of Alex Fox, who had definitely one heck of a ride coming to the end of this race. That is for sure. And we'll see if we can get a word in with him just momentarily. In fact, right now, we'll see if we can get to him. Alex Fox, do you have us? Maybe having a few complications. Alex Fox, do you have us?
Hello.
There we go. Yeah, we do have him there. So, what a race this was for you, coming to the finish. Not only did you, well, we'll go with this. This is probably not the best way to word this, but not only once, but twice you got turned, and somehow you still managed to finish. And well, that fast part definitely helped you out early on, but third place finish for you this week. I believe first podium finish for you this week as well. Walk us through pretty much this entire race for you.
Well, I was just trying to be able to manage my position, just trying to be able to still control the pack, and just trying to make sure we all stay in line and stay in shape. But that situation coming to the stage, it was just unfortunate. Just having to get hooked in the wrong spot, come off the turn. But I was lucky to have my fastest, so I was just trying to still keep the car in one piece till the end there, and just trying to stay where I was and push Brandon to the win. Just trying to maintain my.
Luckily, that did help you out in the end. And well, heading into next week being at Talladega, what are your thoughts, especially after? Actually, I should say the final 3 weeks, considering that you don't have to deal with Daytona 2008 anymore.
Yeah, at least we don't have to deal with this track anymore. Talladega and the newer pavement Daytona, this should be a lot smoother, and it should be a lot more easier to manage the car and managing the tires, and just trying to have a safe race and have fun, and just trying to be able to finish well and go after checkered flag.
Well, before we go ahead and let you go celebrate your third place finish, who would you like to give a shout out for your third spot on the podium this week?
I like to give a shout out to Brandon Hoff for winning this race. He's really been needed that so badly, and I'm glad I'm able to give that to them. Shout out to Lucas Cram and Robbie Lyons for allowing this league, allowing me to race in here and just to have fun, having this payout races, going up, seeing this series grow up, and come out what it is today. It's been a lot of fun racing with them.
We're going to go ahead and let you go. Congratulations once again on your third place finish, and we hope to talk to you again in the next few weeks.
Appreciate you for having me.
So that is third place finisher Alex Fox. Next up is going to be the 33 of Benjamin Nelson, who is, of course, no stranger to being interviewed, especially after being interviewed a previous, let me double check here, at least 3 times, previous 2 times, I should say, when at least winning races. But Benjamin Nelson, congratulations on your second place finish. Walk us through how this entire race was for you.
Yeah, thanks. That race was really a lot cleaner than I expected. That's nice. Car definitely wasn't that easy to drive, but it's a welcome change considering most of the time we're glued to the track. So they're definitely a little more of a handful, but it definitely puts a bit more in the driver's hands. We can make a bit more of a difference with how we drive the car. So it was pretty much just managing that the whole race and just trying not to go offline too much, and keeping it online is a bigger deal here than normal. So it was just that the entire race. We didn't really have that many cautions, so just keeping the fuel in mind too, because the short fuel tank, and we have to make sure that we can pit properly. Nothing really went wrong for me the entire race, so I was just happy to be up there in the fight late in the running.
And luckily, you do come home with a second place finish, further boosting your advantage. At least, well, I'll say this unofficially, it puts you ahead of Lucas Cram, at least just by comparing you and him. But overall, an incredible race throughout, and of course that green flag run to the end, absolutely incredible job as well. And you managed to place yourself back up in second place. So heading into the final 3 weeks of the season, what are your thoughts?
It's really just like it's basically damage control uh because we just you can't have a bad race in this. There's no way to catch up from that. So you really need to be consistent, just like I was able to do today. Um, there's really not much more I can say. Just be consistent, get good finishes in the stage in the race.
Before we go ahead and let you go, is there anyone that you like to give a shout out to for your second place finish here for this week?
Yeah, for sure. The admins of SARG they're just they're great. Races like this is really what shows that off. Is it's just an amazing racecraft for the race today. Only one caution for incident. You can't really ask for much better than that. So um, you just you love to see it. So I really appreciate you for broadcasting as well. I love to come in here and race every week with these guys.
We're going to go ahead and let you go. Thanks for your time, and we hope to talk to you again in the next 3 weeks.
Thanks.
That is the 33 of Benjamin Nelson, and now we're going to be going to your race winner here for this week. Last week it was a third place finish. Well, normally one would be thinking, well, he's clearly going to get a second place finish before then, right? Wrong. Brandon Hoffers proved everybody wrong, and it's finally gotten his first win of the season. So, Brandon, it's just been a lucky 2-week streak for you so far for this season.
Yeah, I went into tonight's race and I'm like, if I could finish just top 3 again, it would be successful. Get a good amount of stage points, and gain some ground on the leaders. I knew Daytona 07 though. The way you got to race here, kind of you can protect your line when you're leading. Really, I did it a lot at the last stage, but it was a fun race. I had a lot of fun, and I think that was the cleanest race we've had all season. I think I got to thank Alex Fox. He did a really good job of pushing me. I know he was running hot, but man, I'm excited to win. I know I won twice last season. Been in a drought this season, but I said last week if I can get it going, I knew I can. I knew I had a chance at the championship, and this is a stage win and a win. A race win. I don't know who led the most laps, but getting close to max points is definitely what I needed. And now we got 3 races to go, and I'm gonna try to do this more. It would. I really want to win the championship, so it was fun.
It was absolutely fun to watch as well. Like you mentioned, the cleanest race that we've had this season. Only one caution for, I believe it was only one caution for an actual crash. I may be incorrect on that. I'm going to double check that myself as well. But in the meantime, though, it was absolutely incredible. A green flag run to the end as well. It most likely helped you out in the process.
Yeah, it definitely did. Kind of halfway through the last stage, we were all tight together there. And I believe I was the one, kind of in our team there, our team chat. I was kind of checking our fuel and strategy. I didn't want to pit. I wanted to wait as long as possible to pit, just so we can have kind of a clean entry. Because I knew if we did that, we can get the track position to get out front, hopefully keep it. And when we all did that, I knew we were in good shape. And when we came out the pits, I didn't see the field in sight who pit, and I knew we were going to be really, really sitting pretty. And coming down to 10 to go, I'm, on the front row, side by side, first and second. I knew at that point, as long as I can protect the bottom and I couldn't let the outside guy clear me, I'd be in a really good spot to win the race. So I feel like this was the best race I've run all season. I knew, and I told you last week that I was, I had a strategy. I'd go to the back in the second stage, and it'd kind of get me in trouble all season. And I said, I wanted to stay up front now and race it out. And it's paid off the last 2 weeks. So I'm glad I changed up the strategy. Man, I'm pumped. I really wanted to win this race going in because I really need to gain ground, and I'm really excited right now.
And it really helps you out heading into the next 3 weeks. So what are your thoughts on that before we almost go ahead and let you go?
Yeah, just more of the same, just hopefully qualify up front, stay up front, lead some laps, get the pit strategy right, avoid the wrecks. I know the car count was, it was a little bit lower tonight. And I expect it to be higher the next 3 weeks, especially coming down to the, final few races of the season. But, just like I said, just keep my nose clean, be up front, work with, people I've been working with all season. And, hopefully maybe win out. I don't know. It's probably unrealistic for a Superspeedway series, but I know for sure if I did it, I know I'd be right up there, and it'd be great. It'd be a great way to end the season. That's for sure.
Hopefully that is the case. Before we go ahead and let you go, anyone that you'd like to give a shout out to for your first race win of this season?
Yeah, I just got to thank Grip Motorsports. They do a lot for me. Kyle Dagger, team owner. My teammates over there, Lucas Cram, Nick Olson. They do a lot for me. I got to thank Taco Bell, everybody in that channel. Again, they know who they are. They helped me out a lot tonight. And I got to thank you, Gary, putting on this broadcast again. You do a great job every single week. I got to thank, Lucas and Robbie for running the series. It's a really fun series. Been running for 2 seasons now. And, hopefully I'm able to keep this going for the next 3.
Hopefully that will be the case. We're going to go ahead and let you go. Congratulations once again on your second podium of the season and your first win of this season.
Thank you, Gary. Appreciate it.
And that is Brendan Hoff, and I did do a bit of double checking. It is officially 2 cautions that we've had throughout this entire race. And once again, that caution first started about lap 19 to lap 20. Lap 19 is when the caution was initially waved and thrown. And then another caution came out at the halfway point, just about lap 39 to lap 40 at the halfway point for the stage. And then that was it. That was the only points of the race where we did have a caution. So an absolutely incredible race throughout the season, and next week is going to be something for sure. Brendan Hoff also gets a free, well, not exactly a free $10, but he does win $10 at the completion of this race. And now next week is something to look out for as we head back to Talladega Superspeedway for the second to last time this season. That is going to be the race, almost the one of the many championship deciding races, of course, but something to really look out for. A wider track. It's not the regular version of Daytona just yet. It will be happening in 2 weeks' time. So we'll see how this plays out. But in the meantime, before we sign off, we'd like to thank you for watching, and we hope to see you next week for the second race of the Sim Auto Racing Group Superspeedway Series playoffs, heading into these final 3 weeks of the season. Thank you all for tuning in to the Racing Line Broadcasting Network. I've been Gary Weaver, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast. We hope to see you next week at Talladega.